Hello everyone, this is Remlays from 40k Theories, and welcome to 40k Lore for Newcomers. For this episode, we will take a brief look at the Imperium of Man. This video is a brief overview of the Imperium as a whole, and many certain aspects that are featured within the Imperium as well as its full and detailed history will receive videos dedicated to them in the future. So without further ado, let's begin.
Carry the Emperor's will as your torch. With it, destroy the shadows.
The Imperium is humanity's galactic-wide empire, the largest empire of any of the sentient species within the galaxy. It encompasses millions, if not billions, of worlds within its fold, and is presided over by the God Emperor of mankind, who rules from his golden throne within the Imperial Palace on Terra, which was known in ancient times as Earth. The Emperor himself is the single most powerful human, physically and psychically, to have ever existed. Long ago, he led great armies and numerous conflicts, from the Unification Wars to bring Terra under his rule, to the Great Crusade to bring all of humanity's lost colonies back into the fold. This in turn reunited the Emperor with his lost sons, the Primarchs, before he suffered a mortal wound during the events of the Horus Heresy, the greatest and bloodiest civil war within Imperial history, and was interred into the Golden Throne, which in turn acts as both a psychic amplifier and a life support system, where he now exists in a state of undeath, kept alive mostly by his sheer force of will. While the Emperor is seen as the ruler of the Imperium, the role of governance falls to the Primarch Rabute Guilliman, Lord Commander of the Imperium, and the High Lords of Terra, 12 individuals who represent the head of various other powerful Imperial organizations.
Every man is a spark in the darkness. By the time he is noticed, he's gone forever.
The governance of the Imperium is further divided into 4 main branches, all of which answer to the High Lords of Terra except one. The first of these is the Adeptus Terra, which in terms of its operation is more akin to an umbrella organization, encompassing most of the Imperium's bureaucratic and militaristic arms, such as the Astra Militarum, or Imperial Guard as they are more commonly known, the Adeptus Arbites, who are the keepers of the peace and upholders of the Imperial law on many worlds, the Imperial Navy, who defend worlds from alien invasion, and the Adeptus Administratum, who consist of millions of scribes and clerks tasked with carrying out the administrative duties required of such a vast empire, as well as many other organizations. The second branch is the Adeptus Mechanicus, which is made up of the priests of the Martian Brotherhood, also known as the Machine Cult. The Mechanicus deal with all things related to technological maintenance and engineering, for in their eyes, machines are holy instruments that demand reverence, and thus only a priest of the Machine Cult is authorized to perform maintenance and repairs to machines, lest one angers the spirit within the machine and in turn the machine god. The priests of the Machine Cult rule over what are known as Forge Worlds, planets dedicated to the manufacture and production of weapons, ammunition, ships, tanks, and many other things besides. The seat of power for the Adeptus Mechanicus is the world of Mars, making it one of the holiest worlds within the Imperium, second only to the Imperial throne world of Terra itself. Almost all members of the Adeptus Mechanicus feature cybernetic augmentation in order to bring themselves closer to the perfection of the machine god. The third branch is the Adeptus Ministorum, also known as the Ecclesiarchy. This organization is essentially the Church of the Imperium, dedicated to spreading the word of the Imperial cult, a religion that demands the worship of the Emperor as a god incarnate, and as one of only 2 sanctioned religions within the Imperium, the other being the cult of the Machine God, which is the religion of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They are also dedicated to the rooting out of and punishment of heretics as threats to the Imperium and its people. The fourth branch is the Inquisition, a shadowy organisation that operates as the secret police of the Imperium, thwarting plots made against the Imperium by its enemies and conducting secretive wars with other sects, be they from human or alien organisations. The Inquisition is unique in that, officially, it answers directly to the Emperor himself, and while an inquisitorial representative does sit as one of the High Lords of Terror, the High Lords hold no real control over the Inquisition itself, making it entirely autonomous, independent, and incredibly dangerous.
All souls cry out for salvation.
The Imperium's territory is separated into 5 distinct blocks, known as segmentums. Segmentum Solar, which is the heart of the Imperium and where Terra and Mars are located. Segmentum Obscurus to the galactic north, which is one of the most heavily defended regions of space due to the presence of a warp tear known as the Eye of Terror. Segmentum Pacificus to the galactic west, Segmentum Tempestus to the galactic south, and finally Ultimus Segmentum to the galactic east, which is the largest of the 5 segmentums, the furthest edges of which are beyond the reach of Imperial rule. Due to the simple logistical difficulties of trying to impose a singular government over millions of worlds, each world is ruled over by a planetary governor who carry out what they believe to be the Emperor's will. For the High Lords of Terror, as long as a planetary governor pays their tithes to the Adeptus Terra, which can either be currency, exported goods, or even people, as well as keep mutants, rebels, and wayward psychers in check, then they are free to govern their world however they see fit. Each world within the Imperium is unique, and each will fall under one of many different categorizations. Such worlds include Forge worlds for the production and manufacture of goods, Agri worlds for the growth and export of food, Hive worlds, which are great industrial megacities, and Shrine worlds, sites of holy pilgrimage, just to name a few.
Faith in the Emperor is its own reward.
The currency of the Imperium is also surprisingly varied. Such currency includes thrones, crowns, and credits. Due to the fact that some worlds will not accept currency that is utilised on other worlds, manpower, resources, and other goods are also used as legal tender in order to circumvent this problem. The Imperium itself also has 3 main languages: Low Gothic, which is spoken by the majority of people throughout the Imperium, although most worlds have evolved their own unique dialects of it; High Gothic, which is used almost exclusively by divisions of the Adeptus Terra, the Inquisition, and the Ecclesiarchy, in a similar manner to Latin of ancient Earth. The third language is Lingua Technis, which consists of bursts of static in binaric code by members of the Adeptus Mechanicus. This language is so unique and specialised that it cannot be understood by those without cybernetic augmentation.
Hatred is the Emperor's greatest gift to humanity.
Over the course of tens of thousands of years, humanity has slowly begun to evolve into a psychic species. These psychically adept individuals are known by many names, such as witches or weirds, but are more commonly known as psychers. Psychers are frequently tracked down by the Inquisition and the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, the organisation responsible for the training of psychers. Those psychers that are captured suffer one of many fates. Those psychers that are too weak to be of any real use are used to provide sustenance to the Emperor of Mankind, their souls fed into the Golden Throne, or simply converted into servitors, which are cyborg slave machines that are mind-wiped and reprogrammed to perform rudimentary tasks. Those psykers who are deemed to be of use, however, are either inducted into the librarius of one of the Space Marine chapters, if they are young enough to undergo genetic augmentation, or handed over to the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. The Adeptus Astra Telepathica will then cultivate many of these psykers into what are known as sanctioned psykers, which are used in battlefield support roles for the armies of the Astra Militarum. For the Imperium to keep in contact with its numerous worlds, communication is established by utilizing the abilities of incredibly powerful psykers known as astropaths, who are able to communicate telepathically over the vastness of space. Despite being known as the Imperium of Man, standard Homo sapiens are not the only subjects within this galaxy-wide empire. Upon many worlds, there exist what are known as abhumans, species that have evolved from Homo sapiens into a variety of other races, due in part to the unique properties of their homeworlds which their ancestors colonized millennia ago. There are dozens upon dozens of different abhuman strains, including the diminutive ratlings and the hulking ogrins. Due to their unique traits such as stealth or sheer brute strength, many of these abhuman strains are recruited into the armies of the Astra Militarum. However, more often than not, they are simply contained to their world of origin. To navigate the vastness of space, Imperial ships have crew members known as navigators, which are psychically sensitive abhumans who are able to see the tides and currents of the warp, a separate realm of reality that allows Imperial craft, for the most part, to travel faster than light, rendering a journey that would take several centuries in real space to just several days within the warp. The navigators can also see a vast psychic beacon known as the Astronomicon, which is powered by a choir of 10,000 psykers, the energy of which is said to be directed by the mind of the Emperor himself. This beacon allows navigators a landmark from which to gain their bearings as their ship travels from one location to another.
A warrior's faith in his commander is his best armor and his strongest weapon.
As expected of a galactic empire, the Imperium has a vast array of military forces. Here is a brief overview of some of the more notable elements of the Imperium's armed forces, and each in turn will receive a dedicated video to them in the future. The Astra Militarum, also known as the Imperial Guard, is the largest of the Imperium's military forces, comprising of billions of men and women from the majority of inhabited worlds. Each world will create numerous regiments of guardsmen, usually drawn from the warriors of a world's planetary defense force, to be shipped off to war zones across the galaxy. Some of the most famous are the Catachan jungle fighters, Cadian shock troopers, Talan desert raiders, and Valhallan ice warriors. The Adeptus Astartes are genetically enhanced super soldiers designed by the Emperor himself, and to the common citizens of the Imperium are more commonly known as Space Marines. The Space Marines are divided into hundreds of separate chapters, each with differing colours and heraldry, and each composed of roughly 1,000 Marines, although some chapters exceed this number. They are also equipped with the best weaponry and armour that mankind has to offer, including power armour and bolters. And thanks to their genetic augmentation, they are larger, stronger, faster, sharper of mind and with longer lifespans than the majority of humanity. Some of the more famous chapters include the Ultramarines, Blood Angels, Space Wolves, and Imperial Fists. The Adeptus Sororitas, also known as the Sisters of Battle, is the militant arm of the Ecclesiarchy. Their organisation exists purely due to a legal loophole which prevents the Adeptus Ministorum from having men under arms. As such, the entire order is comprised of female warriors, armed in a similar manner to Space Marines, with power armor and bolters, although they lack the genetic augmentation of an Astartes. The Legione Scitari, or Tech Guard, is the Adeptus Mechanicus equivalent to the Astra Militarum, legions of cyborg warriors loyal to specific Forge worlds, in a manner similar to the worlds that Imperial Guard regiments are drawn from. The Collegia Titanica command mighty war machines known as Titans, gargantuan constructs that tower over the battlefield, taking the form of vast mechanical gods of war. Titans themselves can range from the smaller Warhound Scout Titan, which is roughly 14 meters or 45 feet tall, to the colossal Emperor Titan, which can reach in excess of 50 meters or 166 feet in height. The Questor Imperialis, also known as the Knightly Houses, operate their own war machines that are known as Knight Titans, which themselves are smaller one-man versions of the massive war machines used by the Collegia Titanica, standing around 9 meters or 29 feet tall. The Officio Assassinorum deploys agents to assassinate important figures, such as enemy generals or heretical cult leaders. There are multiple types of assassin, trained at various temples, and each temple specializes in a specific art of assassination, from the long-range snipers of the Vindicari to the shape-shifting infiltrators of the Calidus, and the psychopathic terror weapons known as the Aversa. The Sisters of Silence, or Null Maidens, are the militant arm of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. They are an order of warrior women who are all unique in the fact that they are what are known as blanks, individuals born without souls and, essentially, immune to psychic energy, making them the supreme hunters of psychers. The Adeptus Custodes are the personal bodyguards of the Emperor himself. They are even larger and mightier than the superhuman warriors of the various Space Marine chapters, and act as the standing defensive army of the Imperial Palace. It is by their authority alone that one can enter the throne room and receive an audience with the Emperor of Mankind. The history of the Imperium is a long and storied one, the details of which shall be explored in later videos. If you like this video, consider supporting us on Patreon for more content. To those who are new to 40k, we hope you learned something today, so leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.